YouTube, what is up? Today we got Dominique the Legend Wilkins going off on JJ Redick for dissing Larry Bird. Let's get right into it, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like the last little JJ Redick diss, so I found another one for y'all. Let's tap
Was a
in.
debate on ESPN with a former player in JJ Redick just recently, and they were debating Bird and Curry. And one of the things they said is like that Redick said is that Curry has faced more physicality. We called him out on
Let me
that.
say something.
Yeah.
First of all, Reddick don't know what the hell he's talking about.
I
I'm gonna
concur.
say it right.
I
He
agree.
don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm like, what basketball was you watching?
Before I play the full clip of Dominique Wilkins, I want to show you guys exactly what they're talking about. So I'm going to play the original conversation that JJ Redick had on ESPN First Take. Roll the clip.
Oh,
I am old school, as we all know. JJ, perfect. But, Bird shot plenty of threes, and they had Parrish and McHale. Bird shot plenty of threes. The best. And Bird is one of the great shooters in the history of the sport. Not even close.
Bird shot threes. He never was a volume shooter.
No, I know that, but he was a great three-point shooter. He was not good. He was great. He's one of the top.
yo, JJ's face says nothing but hater. Just look at his face right now. Look at his face. It says nothing but hater. And I don't know why. You feel me? I don't know if maybe he wants to be known as one of the best shooters, so he's trying to discredit Bird, or if he just hasn't watched. I don't know. Now I understand that sometimes, players pick their eras. Like, I understand that. I get that. But this is just blatant disrespect. Come on, JJ. Stop all that, man.
No, I know that, but he was a great three-point shooter. He was good. He was great. He's one of the top 5 three-point shooters of all time. That's how good Bird is. Oh, yes.
We're not. We're
won
not.
three-point
We're
shooting
not.
contests. He was phenomenal.
Well,
Bird's
wait a
a
minute.
great shooter.
Wait a
And
minute.
Bird didn't shoot
Bird is
Wait a
absolutely
minute,
one of the
doggy.
greatest shooters ever, but he's not
Okay,
one of the
no,
top five
Oh,
three-point,
yes, he
top
is.
three, whatever
Did you
just said.
see the
Listen.
three-point shooting that he put on, those clinics that he put on at the All-Star game?
Again,
Did you watch?
Doggy, it's just math. It's attempts, it's makes, and it's percentage. And there's no way you could ever argue Larry Bird is a top 3 three-point shooter of all time. You can't make that argument.
I mean, he's not wrong. Right. I mean, he's wrong. But he's not wrong as far as like the numbers. But come on, man. Different eras, different times, all that has to play a factor. Like, clearly, if he played in this era, not only would he dominate the league, but let Larry Bird shoot 10 threes a game. He had at least 8 of them. At least 8 of them. Yo, when he made shots, they didn't touch the rim. They didn't touch anything. What about winning the 3-point shootout in the warm-up? You know how hard it is to.
You're basing it on math. You're basing it on math and a time of when he played. I'm basing it on just shooting.
Facts.
Bird is
Facts.
Again, we had this discussion the other day. We had this discussion the other day about James Naismith. James Naismith invented the game. You were rewarded for putting the ball in the basket. There's plenty of people that have shot more, made more, and guess what? Made more at a higher percentage than Larry Bird from 3. I'm not saying Larry Bird is not one of the greatest shooters ever. He's not one of the greatest three-point shooters ever.
Yes,
You cannot make that argument.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Because the 80s is so much different.
I love Mad Dog. He's like, yes, he is. Yes, he is. Just completely ignore him. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Different. There's physicality, the way they guarded people. You couldn't.
Can we get off
Doggy,
this
I've been trying to make
physicality
a
thing?
point.
Seriously, can
I've
we
been
get
trying
off
to
this
make a point for
physicality
you,
thing?
Doggy.
Come on, man.
I've been trying to make a hold on, guys.
Physicality, Jay. I mean,
Hey,
you don't think that
guys,
counts?
You know what?
Hello?
You and I are going to sit down. You and I are going to sit down. We're
What,
going to sit
y'all
there
need
and
to
we're going
calm
to watch
down.
finals games from the 1980s.
But, Jay, here's the difference.
I'm going to show you
I saw
what
the games.
physical
And I
basketball
was
is
at the games.
versus
You were
physical
not.
fouling.
You watching them on YouTube. I saw the games. I watched the games at the time.
Ah, you watching them on YouTube. That's a fact. It is different. It is different. I talked to a lot of people that have actually watched those games, been to those games. They say it definitely is different from, and that's true though. You don't get the same feel, and you don't see everything in its totality through YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I respect all eras. I respect the 80s and 70s. I wasn't there to be able to watch. I watched all my games on YouTube, obviously. But all you gotta do is do your homework. It's not that hard.
I watched all these games. You didn't watch. You weren't alive when these games were being played. Did you see Bird play against the Lakers in '84? Did you see Bird against the Rockets in '86? Were you courtside watching these games?
Talk.
Watch the games at the time. Watching them on YouTube 40 years later is not the same at the moment.
So
watching a
let me ask you a question then. When I watch, let's say Steph Curry, for example.
Right.
When I watch Steph Curry off the ball in a playoff game,
he's great.
Getting grabbed and held by Marcus Smart. They're attached to him at all times.
Right.
Then when I watch Larry Bird come off a pin down and no one's within 5 feet of him and they're shooting the gap. You're telling me one is more physical than the other? You're telling me that's more physical than Steph Curry being grabbed and held for 48 minutes?
He doesn't. They don't call those fouls on Marcus Smart when he holds them and he holds them on those pick and roll. Of course they call the fouls. They protect Curry all the time. He's at the free throw line. He lives at the free throw line.
Again, we're going to sit down and do this off air. We're going to sit down and do this. I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to explain to you. No. Well, we're going to go back and we're going to get a time machine. I'm going to sit courtside with you. I'll be 2 years old in the 1986 finals. It'll be fun.
JJ Redick is right on one thing. Larry Bird is not a top 5 3-point shooter of all time. He's one of the.
This is my first time reacting to your channel. I will stop it. I will stop it. Don't play with me.
The greatest shooters ever, but NBA players today shoot a better percentage with more shots and even from farther out, like we see with Damian Lillard and Steph Curry. But where JJ Redick completely loses me is when he tries to say that Steph Curry faces more physicality than Larry Bird. That is a ridiculous argument to make. Steph Curry is guarded differently than Larry Bird. That's why Marcus Smart is trying to grab and hold him, stopping him from making a play. But Larry Bird was getting hammered in the paint. He was getting hand checked. He got elbows to the chest. They did everything they could to try and throw Larry Bird off his rhythm. And it was way more physical than what Steph Curry sees today. They called less fouls on plays that they call fouls on today. Do you really think James Harden could get 20 free throws in the 80s and 90s? You wouldn't dream of it. Those rules today of continuation and for a while there when you could just shove your way into a defender and get 3 free throws, that never happened back then. And they finally corrected it now. It just goes to show you how different the game is. But I don't need to say that. I'll have one of the NBA legends, Dominique Wilkins, explain to you why JJ Redick.
The physicality aspect, I'm not even going to argue or debate. We all know it's way more physical. So I don't know why he said that. So I'm not even going to go there. You saying that Larry Bird is not one of the best shooters, I can't. You got to look at the time, the eras. Imagine him today. Yo, man, these people out here that can say Larry, like, can name 5 shooters and not name Larry Bird, need to stop watching basketball.
Is wrong, and why making that argument is a little disrespectful to guys like Larry Bird.
First of all, Redick don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm going to say it. Right? I agree. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm like, what basketball was you watching? To say something as idiotic as that is ridiculous. The physicality that was a part of the league. Hey, look, when you can put your hand on a guy's hip and make him go a certain way, if you can put that elbow in his chest to slow him up, which we call slowing a guy up when you coming down the lane, so how many guys can deal with that type of pressure? And for JJ Redick, who played this game, I'm very disappointed that he has said something so stupid. This is the thing I'm having problems with. Bird, who's a big guy, who got bumped all the time. You know, we played around the basket more than guards played around the basket. So I don't understand the logic for him saying that. When clearly those big guys, even to the big guys today, they get touched a little bit more than little guys because they're around the basket. So it just don't make sense when this is the thing I hate the most. We had our time. It was a great time. It's their time now.
Yes.
But don't crap on us to prove your point. Yeah. Because it doesn't make sense and it's not valid. Yeah. But the same thing they look at Sam and myself. Oh, the old guys hating.
No, we
Hating on what? I don't hate on these guys.
no.
You're,
I'm happy
you're
for 'em.
responding right now.
Yeah.
You're not.
I
on
don't
the
hate
attack,
on
you're
these guys. These
responding.
guys great. I just don't like the disrespect.
Yeah.
And to say that about Larry Bird,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, come on.
less physical. Is he
Bad.
stupid?
Too bad.
I feel like most of the old school legends feel this way. And I think that's that's why you always see them like speaking out, because I think they feel this way. I don't think they hate on the players today or even dislike the players today. Like a lot of them give them a lot of credit. Talk about how much skill they have. They just don't like the disrespect, as they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Back MVP.
It's just a stupid comment to make. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with Steph Curry or Larry.
Yeah.
It's the content.
Exactly. We just
Of-
broke down the end
It
result. of
doesn't
it,
make
not the
sense, and he
comparison.
should know better than that.
Yeah.
And I don't care what he feel about me, what his response might be. But when I hear that, and I'm like, you really don't know, do you?
There you have it. If JJ would have said something like, today's
Oh.
players are more skilled than they were in the past, or some guys are more athletic than they were in the 80s and 90s, I don't think Dominique would have had an issue. But trying to say that today's NBA is somehow more physical
Oh.
than it was in the past is completely ridiculous. Players like Kobe Bryant, Gary Payton, Shaquille O'Neal have played in both eras, and they will all tell you that it was way more physical back in the day than it is today. It's not even a debate. But that's all I have for this video. Let me
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, like, I'm not even gonna entertain it because it's clear it's not a debate at all. But shout out to you, my guy, for the video. Hold on. Where is your Blacktop Buckets? Y'all go show him some love. Go subscribe. He's got some interesting stuff on there. I'm probably gonna react to some of his stuff a little bit more. Go to my NBA Legend highlight mixtape playlist. I have a video on Dominique Wilkins. Go check that out. I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what you want to see next.